So, because this was a longer journey, we are trying something new. We split it into 3 parts. I hope you'll enjoy the entire adventure. Ciao for now. I'm Cecelia Sterling, and these are the adventures of Super Chick.
Hello, world. These are the adventures of Super Chick. I'm Cecelia Sterling, and I have a story to share. So, a few years ago, my husband and I purchased a home. And unlike many people, schools were not at the core of that decision because it was a complete miracle that we were able to buy this home in and of itself. And the fact that it had a yard and some outdoor space, which I was so in need of, like craving doesn't cut it. Um, and it was cute enough and just enough room and like just enough of what we really needed. And we were actually able to purchase it. I mean, the amount of things that had to come together, it was a miracle. So fast forward a couple of years and it's time to make some big decisions about where our daughter's going to go to school. And we do visit the school closest to us, and it is a good school, and it doesn't feel like the right fit. It's really big, and I prefer small spaces. Like, I go to little grocery stores even if I have to pay more. I go to little boutiques over big department stores, right? Like, I prefer smaller. And there's a lot of concrete, and I'm from the Midwest, and I just can't, I just don't, with a short visit, feel at home there. And so we explore other options. And I've got lots of belief systems going. Woo, so strong, like ancestral, grew up with, decided when I was 5 that if I ever had children, of course, they would never go to private school. Why? Because they could never afford it. How would I even know who I would be when I was growing up if I had a child? Like it's bananas, the belief systems and the holds they have. And I really appreciate these moments where I actually become aware of them. So I can decide if I'd like to move forward with them as part of my operating system or if I'd like to upgrade and release all that business. Anyway, back to my story. So on our journey of exploring, we do check out a small private school that's close to the preschool she's currently attending. And she really wants to go to the public school where most of her friends from preschool are going. And that's possible. Not necessarily probable, but it's possible. And sometimes I kind of feel like her manager. Like, I don't do research. I'm going to research this. I'm the girl. Like, I'm in charge of helping her get to where she wants to go and learning what we need to learn along the way to make a good decision for her family, right? Mom's in charge. I got this. Okay. So few divine nuggets along the way. Like one day I get a text from a fellow mother from the preschool and she says, "Hey, I heard that they're doing early registration this year for people who want to do a district transfer," which is one of the ways that we could go to that public school. She could go to the public school. I'm right there with her in this. And I'm really grateful that I was alerted by this mom because last year that's not how it went. And I did some of this research last year. Look at me trying to be an A student. So I'm super excited. They're actually in need of more kids within the district. So more likely that we might get a transfer and then we can just go there. Cool. We can decide about moving later if that ends up being something we want to do, which right now I'd love that to happen. But it's not just like, boom, these are the places available. This is how much they cost. This is how much we make. Full alignment. No, the bridge that we literally crossed to go to school is feeling a little bit more like there's a bridge there, but it's hard to get across. If that makes sense. Anyway, we sign up for the pre-registration. Great. I'm feeling some confidence. Anytime I talk with anyone, and I give a lot of weight to the messages that come to me organically through my community. I believe the universe speaks to me through my friends and family. And sometimes it's blatant, like, I don't know why I'm calling you. I just got a nod and I feel like I have to say this out loud. And I'm like, oh my God, Thank you. I needed that today. But other times it's much more subtle and kind of woven organically into the conversation of the day, and I may or may not notice, right? I might notice later. So in this situation, the conversation is rich. People are going from preschool to kindergarten, kindergarten to first grade. We moms are together at the park all the time. Like, we're constantly talking about where we're going, our experiences we're having, positives, negatives. And I'm actually hearing quite a few negatives about the school district that the public elementary school is a part of that my daughter wants to attend. And so that's a little tough to be trying to get her into it when, and my belief is that it's a good school, but I'm hearing some not so great things, right? I have to honor like the current information that's coming to me. Um, and one day when I'm feeling really down and out about the fact that like we can't afford to move there, just not sure if this could ever work out, I'm in the conversation with a grandmother at the park, and she's kind of a family friend. I have family that used to be her neighbors, and we've known her for a really long time. And she says, I have an apartment in the back, and I can't rent it because of A, B, and C. And she has this kind of longer story about the caring for her mom. And I'm like, it's beautiful community. She's a wonderful woman, and I feel safe in that moment of asking for some help. And I say, is there any chance I could rent that apartment? And I'll be honest, use the address um, to help my daughter go to the public school around the corner. And she's like, oh, yeah, of course. Absolutely. Like, just the type of grandma tone you want, right? And I was like, oh, thanks. And I don't know if I would need that, but in this particular moment, it's just helping me feel more hopeful and a little less like this will never happen or things don't work out well for me or I'm on my own here. I'm trying to break rule. Again, I'm in this full sea of belief systems. Just because I want it doesn't mean it could ever happen. And it's like, dang, I don't want to put that on my daughter. Like, she wants this. I want to show her how easy it could be if that's at all possible. So fast forward a little bit longer. Clock's ticking. And one of the things I'd really like to be able to do, as much as I appreciate being in the moment, I like to talk to my daughter about next steps, what to expect, where we're headed to a point. And I'm feeling really insecure about the fact that I can't tell next year's story. Now, what that ends up meaning for me is that I get to talk to her about how I'd feel more comfortable if I could do that. But this, like many things in life, is a one step at a time process. And we're going to do what we can as we go, right? And I'm sure I talked to you last year about really trying to tune into living 24 hours at a time because I was getting anxious about the future and I was feeling depressed about the past. And I really needed to stay present, make the best choices I could in the time, in the moment. And when I was doing that, I was enjoying my life. And it was becoming clearer and more crucial to me to stay within that. And luckily, after having that experience, got to then articulate that and model it for my daughter, right? One step at a time is just so important. So I'm going to pause here for a second because